Hey, what is going on, STOL Addicts? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got a special one for you. One of those things where it's kind of a one-time event, maybe a couple more times depending on how often these hurricanes come through, but decided to fly through Hurricane Ida. And I tell you what, it was a pretty wild ride. We got up to around 80 knots, so give or take 100 miles an hour wind. This was after it made landfall, so unfortunately the eye wall had already started to collapse, but I mean, it was still a pretty wild flight. Now, the aircraft I'll be using to fly through this hurricane will be the WP-3D Orion. It is the NOAA weather variant that they decided to use because the Orion is just an incredibly robust aircraft alongside the C-130 as such. So, and having four props is a definite benefit as far as getting your thrust response along with the movement of your PLA or your power level, the throttles basically, and yeah, the response from a prop compared to a jet engine is night and day. So definite benefit to use a quad prop aircraft in this situation. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started here. Let me get the filters set up so you can see the windage. We'll probably go ahead and do the low elevation that way you can see, and possibly the high elevation as well. But more so looking at the low elevation, we'll get a good look at the winds by the ground, because honestly that's where people are affected. And so yeah, we're going to be going in roughly at the range between 5 to 10,000 feet and circle around and also hit the higher altitudes, just to get a good idea of what these winds are looking like, especially around the eye wall. You can see the eye wall right there, right by Bayou Cane, and we're just west of New Orleans. So New Orleans is getting pounded right now pretty hard. So you're probably wondering exactly what it is that they do. So what they do is NOAA, the organization, will fly out of Lakeland, Florida, and they'll fly to the Caribbean about 2 times a day for 6 days total, tracking these things. And roughly the flights are around 8 to 10 hours, give or take. But what they'll do is they'll fly through these storms and then drop what is called a GPS drop sonde, and they drop about 12 of them to get an idea of the flight level. It goes down from flight level to sea level with wind direction, speed, temperature, humidity, barometric pressure, and yeah, the three hit markers that they try to go for every single time is the eye wall, then the eye, and then the eye wall when they exit. And the purpose of this is those are the most immediate and higher pressured areas that you'll see all of the wind speeds, and they're pretty much the dirtiest areas of the storm. They will ride along the wind on their way in and crab in, kind of float along, and then they will end up hitting that eye wall roughly at around 210 knots indicated airspeed, and while going through, usually at around 8,000 to 10,000 feet. And you're probably asking, what is this data good for? It is immediately transmitted to the weather stations back in the US for an improved forecast by roughly 30%. So that's 30% more time to tell people when to evacuate, which cities to evacuate, and who needs to bunker down and is just out of time. So it's pretty useful, and satellite data and all the other forms of data collection just can't do the same performance as what these aircraft do. Now you'll see, because this is a flight sim, I did a very unorthodox flight plan. Instead of the straight through the eye wall and all that, the sim doesn't necessarily show off the eye wall as you would expect, so it was a lot of me flying around searching for it, but I did end up finding it. Yeah, and as you can see right here, the old switcheroo of the wind speed, look at that direction change, a full 180 degrees, roughly around 5 to 6 knots the whole way. I think it even bumped up to 10 while I was flying through, and yeah, this is definitely the center of the storm right here. And I hit it one more time just to verify that I was actually flying through the eye wall so that I could take it up and then try and see if I could see some separation between the clouds. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the eye wall of Ida. Category 4 hurricane, hit landfall. There it is. Beautiful sight. Finally, we embark on our heading west, back to Ellington Field where we started. Obviously didn't start back in Florida because that's a long flight, so I decided to head to Ellington Field from Houston and take the short 30-minute hop over to New Orleans area. Before you go on your way out, do click the like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and click on one of these other videos up here because I'm telling you, you're going to love it, and I'll see you next time.